Quite evidently, he's the drummer.
I guess I'm sitting near the drum set.
No, because you...
All of us are technically sitting near the drum set. Okay, can you start the
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we have workshop.
No, wait. We are... Workshop! Yeah, okay, so workshop and...
Wait, this is like that radio thing. So we'll start.
Okay, what's your name?
Wait. We have workshop.
Iqbal.
दो बाल.
3 ball.
Balaswamy.
Okay, on a serious note.
But on a serious note...
Sahil, Hamza, Riju,
Band metal.
No, Ace, dude.
Dude, this is not the time. Put your phones off.
Phones on silent.
Phones off. Silent mat dalo, vibrate, then he'll get fucking
horny.
Okay, by the way, I'm Hamza. I play drums.
My name is Raj and I play the lead guitar.
Why does he do this homo thing for everything at the radio interview? He did this.
At least he didn't say naughty Raj.
Wait, I'll do it, then they can use that one take and all this shit can go in the bloopers. Okay, we have workshop. This is the Rijunator who plays the bass guitar. This is the Rajbot who's the lead guitarist. That's the Hamzoid who's the drummer. And I'm the Demon Stealer. I sing and play guitar.
So basically it's progressive music, and when I say progressive, I mean my songs are stories, my albums are stories. So depending on the mood of the story, my songs change. The moods are based on the story, on the concept and how it works. So it's a little intense, it's a little bit of energy, it's a little bit of fun, it's a little bit of everything. So I knew that this was a better place for me a better platform. The only thing keeping me, the only doubt I had was the fact that, I'm coming alone. So will I be able to meet musicians here and stuff like that? But because I've already had that experience of changing musicians in Chennai, I wasn't too scared. And I know Bombay is Bombay, you'll obviously find musicians here.
We are basically India's only humor metal band. For safety reasons, we like to say we are humor rock and roll because metal is not widely accepted. So under the name of rock and roll, we pass into all these venues that don't allow metal, and then we fuck the happiness.
No, but that's
with blast beats.
Yeah, true story. We're basically like a bhelpuri of music.
Tea and scones of music.
Heavy metal band.
Yeah,
we're heavy metal band.
So let's just stick to that.
Amok Symphony, 2005, I had a long discussion with my father regarding the kind of music I should make. So me and dad was telling me about the fusion thing, death metal with Hindustani, Carnatic classical, and using the grooves of jazz music. Basically acid jazz, a little bit of Latin jazz. So I started working on it, and my dad, he had just shown me the air ticket to Mumbai. So I liked it so much because I wanted to start working on this project. Yeah, so I came to Bombay and I was looking for musicians to play this project live. Meanwhile, I joined a digital academy for diploma in audio engineering. At the same time, I was looking for musicians, but in these 3 years, I never found the right musicians for this project. So I decided to continue by myself, just a one-man project. But I must say that I'm still open-minded with the fact that I'm really looking for musicians to perform this project next Sunday. The thing is, I started studying all the genres and all the playing styles from 2004, and the thing which I was really searching for was the common point between two genres. Suppose if I take the riffs from math metal and and I combine with funk rhythms and using the scale moves of jazz. So this is one small example like how I experiment.
Nobody's into music in my family, and I had to hide and tell them I'm playing in a. I didn't know I was playing in a band until 1-2 years down the line. When 1-2 years down the line, they saw Bill of Violence's photograph in the papers, and I picked up playing bass when I got a drop in the first year engineering. So sitting at home doing nothing, I said, let's pick up an instrument and try and press something. Nothing worked out, so I just started playing bass. When they got called up to play for a death metal band called Motorcycle, I played with them. I played with another alternative band called Kinky Ski Monkey, and I did a one-off show with another classic metal band called Maha. And from there, a couple of years, they small stints until I formed PDV. And been stuck around 7-8 years. And then with the end of that, I had time to do Khiladi, which I wanted to do, but I never had time, so now I'm playing Khiladi. But coming back to the question of how I got into music, yeah, I flunked my first year engineering and I didn't know what to do, so I picked up guitars.
So I did a year of engineering and then I dropped out. I went to Xavier's to pursue an education, and there I found that every guy and girl could play 4 or 5 songs, More Than Words, Hotel California, some Elvis. And I just started playing naturally, and I think 2 months after playing on my sister's acoustic, I formed a band called Zenon, and from there my playing sort of improved. Because I was going to be singing, but then we didn't have a guitar, so I started playing as well. I love playing. I've been playing for 8 years, loving every minute.
I was always into music because my uncle is also a drummer. I was very much inspired by my uncle, and I used to go and attend shows, see my uncle play, see all the other musicians play. Plus, music was always there in my house all the time. Then when I started going to college, that is when I had met Mithun from PD, and we started jamming and all. He had all the, I think from the keyboards to drums to everything, all the instruments he had, and we used to sit and experiment and jam on songs, jam on other covers and all that. After that, I joined this band called Abhor in 2000, which was like a big surprise because I directly started playing death metal and all that stuff, covering 6 Feet Under and all that. Then around 2001, I started playing with this band called Cranium from Calcutta, and I also joined the studio in Belapur. That is when I actually started thinking about doing music full time, which I am still trying to manage. And after that, there have been many ups and downs. I joined PDE, and then I joined DR, and right now I'm with Khiladi also. I also have a Hindi band called Raya. So it's been a good journey till now, almost like around 8 years.
As of now, I'm the only one writing the
Sahil
lyrics.
plus puberty equals workshop lyrics. Basically, Stuffy is written like 10 years. When do you hit puberty? 20 years ago.
Not 20 years ago.
Yeah.
What, when I was 7 or what?
Last year.
Okay.
No, the workshop lyrics have nothing to do with me hitting puberty.
When did it puberty? Tell me. 13, 14, 27, 24.
He is 26. No.
27.
Never mind that. But basically, it's funny stuff. People can relate to what is written in workshop lyrics. It's just anything can influence a workshop song. A style, either it's a musical style or it's
Dandiya Nights.
yes, Dandiya Nights and
Himesh.
sexy Falguni Pathak.
This interview also can be
Yeah, we
Yeah,
could
we
write a
might
song on
idea
this.
about this song.
With Jago, Jago the protagonist.
We can call it Jago.
Jaggery.
You heard of Michael Jagosin?
Who is that?
Michael
Sorry,
Jackson.
that flop. You have to put that in the interview.
You start with that. The godfather of Indian heavy metal should say that when it starts.
Godfather.
felt that you seriously don't need the lyrics all the time to execute your mind. I mean, you can do it with the instrumentation. I felt if the instrumentation is good enough in one song, then you can relate yourself to the track. You don't really need lyrics or vocals for that all the time.
I don't know, man, like gospel, whatever, it's all cool. I mean, music at the end of the day is a form of expression and everybody has the right to express themselves in whatever way they want. So if by talking about God, talking about safety, release and let it be, man. There's space for everyone in this world. Personally, I wouldn't talk about religion, I don't know. I mean, for me, that's something personal which I keep in the home. Outside, I'm a human being.
I mean, when you say a woman, okay, now suddenly a girl says, I want to be a drummer, immediately right from scratch, her parents will be like, what are you saying, you can't be a drummer, why don't you try being a singer? Because that's a more girly thing to do, not girls don't end up being drummers or a bassy, for example. So, starting from your parents to your friends to your surroundings, people start fucking with your head and stuff like that, and these chicks will be like, okay, maybe I'm supposed to be a singer. So, I wouldn't say there's so much a lack of people, it's just the approach, the attitude towards women to play. There are of course a handful of them like Pratika Prabhune who doesn't give a shit about what people think, and they say, okay, I'm going to be a bassy whether I like it or not, it doesn't matter, if I don't have a cock I can still play bass. So it works.
There are female artists, like who's the drummer of that Kiron's death metal band?
Sapna Desai.
Sapna Desai.
Pratika has a crush on him.
Dude, that was staged by Pritesh or whoever.
Well, basically, I think globally there are less female artists in music in general, at least in rock and
in metal mostly, because this is a very masculine genre.
Yeah.
I remember this one girl from Delhi who was a growler.
Yeah, Natasha.
Must
I
be.
think that's her name. Yeah.
I'm fine with females not singing or having metal bands, as long as they still dig guys who play metal.
Gayatri will watch this at some point of time.
Hi Gayatri.
Musicians in Chennai I would say are genius, but the marketing is not that great. It's hardly anything. I mean, we wasted a lot of time in Chennai, and we have a lot of people there calling us up, organizers from Chennai calling us up saying, yeah, you guys are awesome, can you play, blah 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 blah. Oh, actually, there's a budget issue, so we can't pay you. And then we'll be like, yeah, fuck off, okay. So, can I say fuck? Yeah, okay. So we'll be like, yeah, whatever. So that I haven't noticed that in Bombay. Here people actually respect the fact that time is money. They value your time, they value you as a musician.
Delhi right now is coming to a point where it was same as Bombay before. The Bombay crowd is very elitist, in the sense they will settle for nothing but the best. If you are even an average or below average band, you're going to have no crowd with your gigs.
I think the bigger the city, the more discriminating the crowd.
Yeah,
and the smaller the city, the more. In the small cities, people are just there to have a good time. Actually, that's true for any place. But because Bombay, Delhi have got such huge scenes happening, so many bands, the audience is discriminating.
I think the Delhi scene right now is far way better than what the Mumbai scene is right now.
What I can remember, right in the back, there was a band called Rust Angels. There was Millennium. There was Industry. There was Brahma as well. When I was a kid. In the last 10 years, this is all when I was growing up in school, in the last 10 years, two bands from Bombay, Zero, PDB. Zero for the musical ability and the way they delivered, PDB for the way they controlled the whole place when they got on stage.
Yeah, I think that would be my most memorable gig where in Raz once we hooked up 2 drum kits and we had an outgoing drummer, Jay play on 1 drum kit and a new drummer, this bastard, 1 drum kit, and they were fucking smashing on the song.
He said my most memorable gig.
Memorable, the most memorable. Most memorable. Snip, 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 snip. The most memorable gig was that where it was man like I'm playing and sorry I'm thinking your army marching behind me and I turned and it just got pot lefty and mirror image that guy pot righty. So that has to be my most standout gig.
I was there at that gig and blown away. That was madness. Both of them were on fire.
Yeah, so how did you handle the sound? That was the question. I was playing drums, I was not handling the sound. No, as in, both of you were playing the same patterns, I didn't notice that.
Actually, we had practiced it, he might play one verse, then we both come in the chorus, then second verse I'll play alone, then come with the chorus. But then, with the whole crowd going mad,
everybody going mad. You can't just sit there and wait for the chorus to come. So we ended up playing the whole set together, all the patterns, right from the fills to everything.
The double bass also.
The double bass, everything.
It's literally army
He was
march.
mad, he was mad. And they were
At
Where
Tolani
was that?
College.
Tolani College.
The show was over. And so we were like, hey, thank you, and had a good time. So but they were not letting us go. They were like, boo, don't go, and this and that. And but we were getting off stage. They all ran or towards the stage, and they were just not letting us go.
Wanted us to
They were like,
play
just
songs
one more
again,
song.
one more.
And they were all.
And we were
like,
playing all original
They
songs.
were all coming on the stage, yeah. And no cover, yeah. As in,
And they
were
wanted
asking
us
for
to
originals.
play one original again. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
it's a
did
good-
play a cover then, but
Nonco, basically.
no,
not long.
we played one song again because they wanted it so badly.
The management only asked for it. Like, they were the ones who demanded.
The principal.
The principal was the one who asked for the request for the song. Like, so we had to play it. Like, again.
That was a good experience because the crowd and not just the students, but the faculty as well. They were like, okay, please play one song, and
Yeah, I think for us,
that was super.
being in a Hindi alternative band, I think the the age group of our crowd is not like fixed. It has no restrictions,
Changes from then till now is definitely a lot more bands concentrate on writing their own songs as opposed to playing covers. That's one. Two is I see a lot of money also being pumped in, even if it's $1 grand, $2 grand, but still it's still money coming in. So there's that added incentive. Like no band is going to go broke. They'll at least have enough money to change the strings on their guitar. So I think those two are definitely some of the positive changes. And yeah, the crowds have increased. The crowds have become more staunch and dedicated. Like, we will support this band. So I think a lot more bands, a lot more very different types of music. Not just thrash metal or just death metal.
I go to a music store and I see a full rack of Indian bands. That never happened. I mean, we could buy cassettes from Independence Rock. That was the only gig that happened once a year. Get on a train, go to Churchgate, walk to Rambo and watch it. Buy a couple of cassettes. I still have cassettes of
The World Beyond, Brahma.
Brahma to hey, Destroy the Destroyer.
Good album, but
Yeah. That was the album that I got. But that was Agni.
no, Agni was
Mrityunjay.
Mrityunjay.
I got that.
That's another thing. Every IROC, I always stand in the stalls and I help Counterculture Records with CD sales, and they don't only put their artists, they put all bands. Out of the goodness of their heart, though they are paying for the stalls, they are not asking money from the bands over there. Everyone comes, puts up their CDs, and every year I see at least 5 to 10 more new Indian band CDs on that table until there is no place. So now Demon Steel has his own stall and we have our own stall. First, even Demon Steel and everything will be together. And so yeah, a lot more bands, a lot more CDs coming out. It's superb. I mean, that's the only way the scene will grow, and in a healthy way. A lot more new music, a lot more original music.
That's what I'm saying. The money over there was like, I got paid handsomely for 1 day's worth of recording, and the budget for one song was equivalent to at least 3 albums in the metal scene. One song had enough money to fund 3 albums.
You spent 3 lakhs.
Yeah.
One song.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've got that, and the experience was great. I got to record in the same studio as Virgil Donati, so that was insane. And the production quality was great. So even if you have an average song with good production, people can listen to it, as opposed to a great song with bad production. I mean, unless you're from the old school way of thought where production doesn't matter. But otherwise, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. The money in Bollywood is just overflowing. So if a little bit is directed towards us, it'll be cool. Maybe we can start our own venue, man. Something like that.
Most of the Indian bands sounds like their influences. Suppose if, for example, there's a band called. I really like these guys a lot, but the only thing I really didn't like about them is they really sound like Lamb of God. So I think if you seriously don't work on the originality, then there's no point in putting so much of effort in writing a song. until and unless you find your own style, you are not a complete band.
So I think the biggest problem and the biggest hurdle faced in Mumbai right now is for the metal bands. They don't have venues to play. There's not much support for the metal bands, and I'm not saying only for extreme metal bands. Even your mainstream metal bands find it very difficult to get gigs, very difficult to play venues and all. So that's one big thing. And the other difficulty faced by bands, I think this is still not something that they can do even as a part-time, money source, money income coming in. You can't expect to do this full-time. You can't expect to do this half-time also.
The main advantage that we have over the other bands is because we are mixing genres and because we have such a intense humor element to our act that the metal is very secondary there. So you enjoy the stage act, the banter, the songs, and the metal is just part of it.
Madonna covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we're not an all-out brutal metal band. I'd say we're more of an alternative metal band. So that still falls
with
into
blast beats.
In a few parts, and also it does still allow you to play at such venues, and you obviously at some point you tend to leave out a few of the heavier songs because you don't get a good response for them, so there's no point playing them. You play the sort of more commercial numbers you have.
Even the waiters that have told me specifically that
they mobbed
enjoy
him. They mobbed him.
Yeah, they said that they enjoy our kind of music more than the stuff which plays there regularly. So I guess that's a positive sign.
Since our songs have the appeal which generally rock bands and metal bands in India don't have, they try to kind of be Iron Maiden or be some XYZ band. We have a completely new, original, fresh sound.
Yeah, we're just being chutias. That's it.
Which guys who go home and play rock-on songs might like, guys who are into death metal might like. So we have a huge spectrum, very broad spectrum.
Yeah.
So
basically, we are fooling everyone by making them believe that we've got one song for every genre.
I think you should loop that for the end of your video.
The people who've given their lives to music and music management, right? I think you're going to be doing that, and people like Vijay and I, even Vishal, they've set up these event companies, artist management companies. I think people did that even in the 90s when I was a kid, but they always folded up within 1 year. I know people who've tried to do artist management and left it and taken up a normal job, but I like the people who are doing it for their living. It's going to help the music, for sure.
The DVD I think is the first. The poster stickers have been done before, but not so aggressively marketed as we did. Our idea.
Stickers, I think we're the first.
No, Them Clones has also given out stickers, just free stickers, and so has Rishu Singh for all his bands. No, but the idea was that since we have put in a lot of effort into the album, and we also took the effort to make a DVD, we just wanted to make it a very attractive package. So as a fan, these days, especially with piracy and downloading music, you got to give somebody a reason to own that CD.
Exactly.
So we took the effort, we got a really great inlay done, we got a free DVD along with it, which you won't get by downloading the album, and the poster and the sticker are the added benefit to buying the album. So hopefully that encouraged more people to actually buy the album.
Yeah, I think at least 30 or 40% knowledge in sound engineering and music production is very important for every musician in Bombay. Not just Bombay, in any corner of India. If you really know how to execute your music without taking help from the others, that's a really great thing. By the time you collect money and you record with them, you waste lots of money, you waste lots of time. By the time you come up with something, by the time you come up with an album, maybe it will be too late.
Again, in this 1 year with Khiladi, my most memorable Mad Instant experience was playing for the Mumbai Marathon, and earlier this year, we were playing on the promenade at Marine Drive, and then when the Dream Run started, everyone stopped, and there was this huge crowd right in front of the stage, And like they stopped running, they was like, yeah, and they were like, yeah, I'm playing, yeah. Like with them on, and the cops came and threatened to take our instruments away if we got other people to pass. We stopped the marathon. We stopped the wave. And Anil Kumble waved to me, man. The original Indian hero. Anil Kumble waved to me. Has Anil Kumble waved to you, motherfucker?
In one of our shows at Bhavan's, like where we asked the guys to put the lights on the audience, and I saw about like 5-6 guys being thrown up in the air, like at 3 different circles with the principal and shit sitting in front of us, like.
They were being thrown up in the air.
Thrown up like 10 feet in the air, at least 5-6 guys.
When we were playing and it was dark.
Only the stage lights were on.
Yeah.
Only the stage lights were on, so they were on our face. So
we couldn't see the crowd, but we could see only the heads, what above the heads we could see. Because of the lights, natural lights.
So Jimmy,
where was above now, so we could see them, and so we could only see bodies moving, going from here and there, and that was insane.
So Jimmy just announced that he needs the crowd lights on. So they switched on the crowd lights, and suddenly we see 5-6 people on top.
People just running around, thrown up high up, and
so
you were being told like they are the worst crowd, like they'll boo you off stage and make sure you get off.
Like Sardar Patel crowd.
Yeah.
I think that was the best show.
Yeah, because we didn't know how the crowd was reacting and what they were doing when we were playing, and Achanak when the lights were on, we were like, oh fuck, and we were like, oh my goodness, like what the heck is this, man?
Immediate future, Khiladi will be putting out an EP, and we play anywhere and everywhere to promote. Like we come for your wedding also, we play there anywhere. Like we come for your documentary release party, we play there also, anywhere. And not because we want we have to promote. We come play because it's a cool documentary, so we want to be more part of it. And then we plan to shoot a music video. Let's see, it costs a lot of money, so if it happens, it happens. And then after that, plan out on releasing a nice full-length album, and hopefully playing more shows, writing more songs, and becoming a bigger and bigger thing. Hopefully reach some of the heights that we reach. Go to myspace.com/Khiladi, listen to our songs, join our Orkut and Facebook community, come for our gigs, buy our albums, buy our t-shirts, support us. If not, you will be gay. And don't sell your soul to Fataros. Hello, Sai.
Surely an album launch, but I can't say when. I don't know if it's immediate future or maybe a little later.
No, it's a not an immediate, but it's a definite future.
Yeah, it's a definite future.
For sure, the album's gonna come out and it'll be out, and the music is gonna be all over India. That will make sure that it's gonna happen.
Actually, get him to do the vagina song.
Please. No. Copyright issues.
No. Nothing will happen. This is DVD will not even come to Palika Pass.
I'm conscious.
No. You want me to be unconscious?
No. Please. I can't do it. Please.
Okay, do your groin squeeze then for the camera.
Groin squeeze and so I can do it.
Do.
No. Do it.
No, do the vagina song.
Why are you taking so much power? Vagina. I want to have sex with your vagina. E equals MC vagina.